Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Gaijin went through, looked at your feedback on the battle rating changes, and boy, did they change things up. In fact, it's so much of a change that the bulk of the information from the previous video is no longer accurate. So rather than try and patch it together, I'm going to just go through the list again. Just so you know, things like the M36 entirely disappeared off the list. It's not changing BR according to the latest list. And some of the M48 models that they had originally marked as going down in BR, they just had been pulled off, and only one remains on the list, just as examples. So let's go through it. Aircraft doesn't seem to have as much of a change, but ground has had some pretty big ones. Again, this is talking head, so I apologize. You're going to be looking at my face, and you're going to be looking at the spreadsheet. So let's get started. Let's make it as quick as we can and get through this information. Okay, so the Strela 10M2 is going down to 9.0 from 9.3. I'm going to avoid the arcade ones. Just note that they are here visually on the screen. Martyr 1A3, 8.0 to 7.7. The M48A2C is going from 7.0 to 7.3. Now, there were some other M48s that were on the original list. That's gone away. AS4247 going from 1.7 to 2.0. IKV103 going from 4.7 to 4.0. Apparently, they're having some trouble balancing that one because I think it's got a fairly decent penetration heat shell, and it's probably just not doing very good at actually killing things. RealCat 105, 87 to 90. WMA 301, 83 to 87. The PTL 02, 83 to 87. And we got a series of them from 10.7 to 11.0, including the Centauro 120, the Ariete PSO, the Ariete, the Automatic, and the Floracrat is where we switch over from 11.0 to 11.3. That'll be joining the Leopard 2A6, also making that adjustment. The Leopard 2PL is going from 10.7 to 11.0. No surprise to me. Leopard 2A5, 11.0 to 11.3. T80BVM as well. T80U, T80UK, and T72B3, all going from 10.7 to 11.0. The ADATS is going from 11.0 to 11.3. Kind of a little surprise to me. But maybe not too much. HSTVL also going from 10.7 to 11.0. Surprised, but not too much. M1A2 SEP is going from 11.0 to 11.3. M1A2 Abrams, same as well. The M1A1HC and the M1A1 AIM are going from 10.7 to 11.0. Just a little bump up for all of those. The Merkava Mark 3D USA going from 10.3 to 10.7. And there's more Merkavas on the list farther down. Or is it Merkava? Got to remember which one. The Tor M1 going from 11.0 to 11.3. Thank goodness. ZTZ 99A, WZ1001 ELCT, STIRV 122A, STIRV 122B PLSS, Leopard 2A6 from Finland, and the Ito 90M, all going from 11.0 to 11.3. That is just a touch of BR decompression, so it's just pushing up just a touch. CV 90120 going from 10.7 to 11.0. The Merkavas, we've got the Mark 4M going from 11.0 to 11.3, and the 3B and 3C going from 10.0 to 10.7. The Leclerc SXXI, which I'm not going to bother trying to interpret right now, going from 11.0 to 11.3 and joined by the Leclerc S2 and the base Leclerc. The Ito 90M for France also bumping from 11.0 to 11.3, and the Black Knight. The Challenger 2 is going from 10.7 to 11.0, and then we got, again, some more miscellaneous items. It looks like their sorting's a little weird this time. I think they sorted by country in the name, but weird. ADATS M113, 11.0 to 11.3, the Type 10 as well, and the TKX. So that's everything in the air. Now, of course, there are some additional changes, moving some of the vehicles to higher levels, but they're basically still playing with they're still playing with that whole area. Basically, they talk about the IKV 103, which has the high penetration of heat shell at a relatively high fire rate, has poor ballistics and insufficient protection and mobility. They got a bunch of examples here. And then, of course, there's the changes in fire rates here. I think they've added the M56 to the list, but otherwise it looks pretty normal. Let's move on to the Aviation, which does not have any significant changes that I have identified. So I'm going to quickly burn through it, and you can comment at the end. F-16A, all the models of F-16 have gone from 11.7 to 12.0, which is the big change for this time, getting 12.0 Aviation. MiG-29 is also going to 12.0. The F-14A early is going from 11.3 to 11.7 and moving up to rank 8. I'm surprised it didn't get bumped all the way to 12, honestly. F4EJ Kai is joining it as well as the Harrier GR7. The GR7 is going from rank 7 to rank 8 as well. F4F Germany going from 11.0 to 10.7. That's probably that's good for it. Along with the SU-17M2. The J35D is going from 10.7 to 10.3. Then we got the F104 still going from 10.7 to 11.0, including a rank change for the F104S. Bop down a little bit past some arcade ones there. We're going to get into the ones that are pretty normal here. So we got the Z19. Whoops, don't move that. And the Z19E. I hate these helicopters. They are too effective for where they're at, but 10.3 to 10.7, good. F-104s C, A, and A China are all going from 9.7 to 9.3, which more matches my experience with the 104s. Z9W, Z9WA, the 9W is going from 9.3 to 9.7, and the WA from 9.7 to 10.0. MI-24D and the the 24D is going from 9.0 to 8.7. The MI-4AV going from 8.3 to 8.0. These helicopters are not very survivable, so they have been suffering pretty heavily at the hands of aircraft players. Also, they can't stand off far enough to avoid some of the stuff, so that's probably good for them. H-34 from 8.0 to 7.7, both it and the France one. And that's a good change because I believe their ATGMs are really close range. So they're well within gun range for all of those. This is a change that is well welcomed. The F9 F2 going from 8.3 to 8.0, long overdue. I would contend it could drop to 7.7 without any issues. Speaking of 7.7, the F2H2 is going from 7.7 to 7.3. And again, long overdue. It has long been overshadowed by other vehicles at that BR. The SU-11 is going from 7.0 to 7.3, and I think that might be a reflection on how much you're seeing it in ground RB. The F4U-4B is going from 6.0 to 5.7, probably wasn't able to hang with the jets. Seafire FR-47 going from 5.3 to 5.7. There was another British plane right here that was also on the list, whose name is escaping me at the moment, but it's no longer there, so keep that in mind. And then we got the Focke-Wulf 190s going from 4.3 to 4.0. That'd be the A4, the A5U2. They just don't turn well enough for where they're actually used. So if you kill it on the first round because of its overwhelming firepower, great. If not, you're in a turn fight and you are toast. B-18B, surprise, 3.7 to 4.0. HE-100D1 dropping from 2.0 to 1.7. Okay, whatever. Then we've got the aircraft rank changes here. I kind of mentioned them as I went, but there's a bunch that went from 7 to 8. The F-14A, the MiG-23 MLA, the MiG-23 MLD, and the MiG-27K, the Harrier GR7, and the Mirage 2000 CS5. Then you got the F-104S going from 6 to 7. Of course, the rest of them are adjustments for normal things like, hey, we're going to have to change how many vehicles are required to move up to a different rank in aircraft just because they've changed the number of aircraft in those places. Then we go over to fleet, and there's no changes to this whole thing right here, so I'm just going to quickly burn through it. HMS Nepal, HMS Kelvin, HMS Jervis, and IJNU Bari going from 4.7 to 4.3. That should make the lower tier Blue Water and upper tier Coastal a little bit more interesting, the battles there. HMCS Brantford going from 2.3 to 2.7. The Liscombe from 2.0 to 2.3, along with the Carmi PC-466. The Type K8 number 13 and the KM5 are going from 1.3 to 1.7. So that's the details on the BR changes as it is right now. They have not listed they're expecting any. Well, okay. They're still listing a feedback thread. So let me just pop over there real quick and see if it's still active. If it's still active, they're still asking for it. Yep, they're still, this new thread is still active. So they're still accepting feedback at this point. That said, I expect these BR changes to hit and soon. So watch out for it. If you're going to get your feedback in there, be polite, be courteous. And I'm not going to finish that one because that was in the first video. But just remember, just be polite about it and be prepared to argue, but not fight over your suggestions. So that's everything for this one. Thank you very much for joining me today. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and give me some ideas on what you're looking for future content. You have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in War Thunder.